This is Garrett Fry, the 3D digital map painting sequence lead for the construction site sequence, and we're taking a look at shot 627. So let's go ahead and play that. So you can see we are panning from the right over to the left on this shot. And in this shot, what we're going to want to do is add a lot more construction site materials to these open areas. You can see there's a big open area here, all throughout here is just a bit bare. And the stuff in here seems a little bit repetitive, and so maybe taking some of the stuff out and replacing it with something else would be nice and help the shot as well. So there's a couple of different ways that you can approach this kind of gravelly area. One is putting in some of the construction equipment that was used to move all of this earth. And so if you wanted to, like back here and back here, these seem like perfect places to park construction material, or excuse me, one of these vehicles. Like you can see here, it's just parked there. There's a couple spots that you can park things there, or you can maybe take one of these sections here, and you can see how this has some cement underneath it. You can fill some of these areas in with cement. Like this area has progressed farther than other places in this construction site, and then you can use that as a platform to place a bunch of stuff into. So you just want to be selective about the things that you're putting in here so that it actually makes sense. That way it can all feel like it lives together. So on this shot, it's really overcast, but I do want to bring to your attention that things do still have some kind of directional light to them. So if you take a look at this yellow thing right here, you can see that this is the light side, and this is, going around is the dark side. This bucket has a light side and a dark side. And so there is directional lighting. So when you pull your objects in, you're going to want to just don't go, it's overcast, my photo reference is overcast, it's going to match just fine. It probably will stick out a bit. And so what you need to do is you need to adjust the lighting, even on your overcast stuff, to match with this environment. You're also going to want to make sure that your perspective is really spot on. This has really strong perspective lines. And so if you put something in here that doesn't have the right perspective, then it's going to be identified as a problem really, really quickly. And the people that are going to be looking at your shots are very sensitive to things that are out of perspective. And so that is something that you'll be judged very harshly on. So you want to make sure that you have really nice perspective. And last thing is that this is a wet scene. And so you want to, if you are adding things, you can, like you see here, it's wet and it's dry and it's wet and it's dry, that you kind of have that same pattern. You have some really cool drippy bits and stuff that you have here. And so what you can do when you add things in there, you can add some wetness to them, some parts of it that are wet. So it's going to be darker, it's going to be slightly more saturated, more contrasty in those areas. Some objects are going to be more wet because they take longer to dry, like wood, as opposed to some of the metal objects that could be in the scene. Before you jump into your shot, it's a good idea to review the library of construction site materials. Do a bunch of quick matte painting tests by dragging photos into your shot and doing quick integrations. You will soon be able to discern the appropriate reference you should use for your shot.